Welcome to today's lecture. As we have already studied about the introduction of duodenum, now we will be studying about the first part of duodenum. The first part of duodenum is being developed from the foregut. It is 5 centimeters in length or 2 inches in length. This first part is being again divided into proximal 2.5 centimeters and distal 2.5 centimeters. The proximal 2.5 centimeters is intraperitoneal. Hence, it is freely movable. The proximal 2.5 centimeter is attached to the lesser omentum above and the greater omentum below. The distal 2.5 centimeter is retroperitoneal. It is fixed. In the first part of duodenum, the proximal 2.5 centimeters does not have circular folds in its mucous membrane. That is, it does not have walls of Kerckring. Kerckring, Kerckring. Then, the first part of duodenum is having less blood supply comparing to the rest of the duodenum, because here the arteries which supply it are the end arteries. So in this picture what you can see, so this is the C-shaped duodenum. This is the first part, this is the second part, this is the third part. Fourth part you cannot see in this picture. Then what you are having here, so this is the portal vein, this is the gallbladder. Then what you are having here is the bile duct. So this is the bile duct. Then this is the common hepatic artery. So, coming to this first part of duodenum from here to here, so it begins at the pylorus of the stomach. Then it passes upwards, backwards and laterally to the right side of the vertebral column. Later, it reaches the neck of the gallbladder. So here you are having the neck of the gallbladder, where it curves downwards at superior duodenal flexure. So this is a superior duodenal flexure to become continuous with the second part of duodenum. Now this picture, so this is the sagittal section which is showing. So here what you can see, this is the quadrate lobe of liver, whereas this is the inferior vena cava. Here you are having the epiploic foramen which connects the lesser sac with the greater sac. Then this is the portal vein. Then this is a common hepatic artery which divides into gastroduodenal artery as well as the proper hepatic artery. This is a bile duct. This is the duodenum. Then behind this, here you will be having the gallbladder. So now coming to the relations. So now coming to the anterior relations. So anteriorly you are having the quadrate lobe of liver. Then you are also having the neck and body of the gallbladder. So which will be present behind this neck as well as the body of the gallbladder. Coming to the superior relation, superiorly you are having here, that is the common hepatic artery, and above it you are having the epiploic foramen. Then inferior relation is you are having here, that is the head as well as the neck of the pancreas. So now coming to the posterior relations of the first part of duodenum. So here what you are having, that is the common bile duct. Then you are having the gastroduodenal artery. Then the portal vein, and also you are having the inferior vena cava which is separated from these structures. So in this picture, the posterior relation can be better viewed. So this was the first part of duodenum. So you can see the posterior relation. Behind that you are having the gastroduodenal artery, bile duct, then the portal vein, and also behind it will be the inferior vena cava. Coming to clinical importance. First is duodenal cap. This is an triangular shadow which is seen in an X-ray of the barium meal. So this is due to absence of circular folds, that is absence of valves of Kerckring in the first proximal 2.5 centimeter of the first part of duodenum. Secondly, the first part of duodenum is a common site of peptic ulceration. This is because the gastric acid comes in contact to the mucous membrane of the first part of duodenum. If the ulcer perforates the inferior wall, the gastric acid penetrates the pancreas and it causes pain in the back. If the ulcer perforates the anterior wall, the gastric acid will enter the greater sac. Next is artery of duodenal hemorrhage. If there is an ulcer or perforation in the posterior wall, it may erode the gastroduodenal artery. Due to this, there can be internal bleeding. So the gastroduodenal artery is called artery of duodenal hemorrhage. Thank you for watching.